Japan has long been celebrated as the land of the ninja and the fearless samurai, warriors whose discipline, skill, and fearlessness became the stuff of legend. For centuries, their exploits inspired stories, plays, and dreams, painting a portrait of a nation that revered mastery of combat. Yet in modern times, Japan's warriors have traded their katanas, shurikens, and smoke bombs for a new breed of weaponry. Fists, elbows, knees, and legs capable of ending careers in mere seconds. Today, in arenas, cages, and rings, these modern-day fighters continue the legacy of their ancestors, but with a brutal athletic precision that would have made even a samurai pause in awe. In this article, we dive headfirst into some of the wildest, most unforgettable knockouts ever witnessed in Japanese combat sports, spanning boxing, kickboxing, and MMA. Prepare yourself. The levels of destruction, strategy, and artistry you're about to witness are extraordinary. We begin with a fighter whose very name has become synonymous with power and precision. Naoya Inoue, the so-called monster of Japanese boxing. His WBO junior bantamweight title defense against former champion Kohi Kono in 2016 was not merely a fight. It was a masterclass in dominance, strategy, and calculated annihilation. From the moment Kono stepped into the ring, there was a sense that something was off. The fire in his eyes seemed dimmed, the confident swagger that had carried him to previous victories nowhere to be seen. His body language betrayed hesitation, as if his instincts were warning him that he was about to face something beyond mere human capability. Perhaps it was nerves. Perhaps it was instinctive recognition of the storm across the ring. Whatever it was, it made Kono's movements tentative, cautious, like a deer stepping into the path of a predator. Inoue, by contrast, was every bit the picture of controlled chaos. He didn't charge recklessly, nor did he rely solely on brute force. Every step, every feint, every glance across the ring seemed meticulously planned, almost surgical. Watching him move was like observing a painter preparing a masterpiece. He sketched the outline, probed for weaknesses, and waited for the perfect moment to bring the canvas to life. Inoue was not just fighting. He was analyzing, dissecting, and predicting. Each of Kono's attempts at aggression was met with responses that were faster, sharper, and almost impossibly precise. The fight unfolded like a slow-motion spectacle. Round by round, Inoue accrued dominance without ever seeming to exert maximum effort. He cut angles, landed clean punches, and slipped counters with a fluidity that made it appear effortless. Kono attempted to resist. He jabbed, circled, and sought openings, desperately trying to mount a counteroffensive. Yet with each move, Inoue anticipated, countered, and neutralized his efforts. By the fifth round, the writing was on the wall, the storm was imminent, and Kono had nowhere to hide. Then came the sixth round, and Inoue flipped the switch from methodical technician to unstoppable force of nature. A monstrous left hook detonated on Kono's jaw, sending him crumpling to the canvas like a puppet whose strings had been violently cut. Against all odds, Kono managed to rise, blinking, disoriented, as if unsure which world he had returned to. But the referee, sensing that the fight had reached its inevitable conclusion, allowed only one final exchange. Inoue, uninterested in prolonging the drama, unleashed a pair of sledgehammer rights that left Kono horizontal. The contest was over. What had started as a title defense had become a statement. Inoue wasn't merely a champion. He was an eraser of reputations, a force capable of rewriting careers in seconds. For Kono, it marked not just the end of a fight, but a turning point in his life, a reminder of the razor-thin margins between victory and obliteration in elite combat sports. From the squared circle of boxing, we shift to the high-octane, almost supernatural world of kickboxing, where one man has captured the imagination of fans worldwide, Tenshin Nasukawa. If Inoue represents precision and raw knockout power in boxing, Tenshin embodies lightning in motion, the kind of athlete whose speed and timing seem almost unreal. His bout against Yusaku Nakamura is a case study in chaos and control, a match that could be lifted straight from the pages of a live-action anime. From the opening bell, the difference in speed and anticipation was immediately apparent. A sharp left hand snapped Nakamura's head back, a warning of the storm to come. What followed was a relentless, almost merciless display of timing and agility. Nakamura attempted to cling to survival, initiating clinches, hoping to slow the relentless pace. But Tenshin moved as though he had the fight preloaded in his mind 5 seconds before it happened. Each step, feint, and strike was calculated, choreographed, and devastatingly effective. The crowd's roars acted as a rhythmic drumbeat, amplifying the sense that they were witnessing something beyond human capability. Then came the defining moment. Tenshin executed a modified rolling thunder kick, spinning like a whirlwind and connecting flush. Nakamura was dazed, caught between shock and pain, a human illustration of being outclassed by someone operating at a higher plane. The following round saw Nakamura attempting a recovery, a futile grasp at dignity, only to be met by another perfectly timed left hook. The fight concluded almost as swiftly as it had begun, leaving the audience awestruck and cementing Tenshin's reputation as the modern incarnation of Japan's legendary warriors, nimble, deadly, and almost impossible to counter. Japanese MMA has similarly produced spectacles of calculated destruction, none more remarkable than the 2019 clash between Kyoji Horaguchi and Kai Asakura. This fight was billed as a meeting of elite aces, a passing of the torch between generations, and a collision of technique, ambition, and raw power. Horaguchi entered the cage with an unblemished record of 13-0, a champion in multiple promotions, and a fighter whose every movement exuded confidence. Across from him, Asakura stood younger, taller, and ringier, embodying the ambition and hunger that only raw talent and determination can fuel. From the opening bell, the match was a furious display of aggression and counter-strategy. Horaguchi's initial attempts to overwhelm his opponent with raw explosiveness were met with calm, composed counterattacks from Asakura. A perfectly timed right hand landed flush, and suddenly the dynamics of the fight shifted. Horaguchi's legs wobbled, his balance destabilized, and Asakura capitalized with methodical precision, landing strike after strike until the veteran fighter succumbed. What unfolded was not merely a victory. It was a declaration, a statement that preparation, timing, and composure often outweigh raw talent and aggression. The fight marked a breakout moment for Asakura, propelling him into the spotlight as a rising star, a modern-day warrior capable of toppling established titans. The rematch between these two fighters painted a contrasting picture, emphasizing that strategy and adaptation are as vital as raw talent. Horaguchi returned smarter, more disciplined, and with a meticulously crafted plan designed to neutralize Asakura's natural attributes. From the first bell, he controlled the pace, using range, distance, and devastating calf kicks to slowly erode his opponent's mobility. With each step, Asakura's legs weakened, his stance faltered, and the cracks in his defense widened. By the later rounds, Horaguchi's timing was flawless, and a vicious finishing combination dropped Asakura decisively, a testament to the fact that preparation, intelligence, and patience can turn even the most aggressive fighter into a target. The lesson here is clear. Japanese combat sports are not merely showcases of power, they are laboratories of strategy, precision, and adaptation. Every knockout, every submission, every perfectly timed strike tells a story, one that blends preparation with instinct and calculation with instinctual execution. Ren Hiramoto's bouts in 2020 further illustrate this truth. A former K1 kickboxing prodigy, Hiramoto entered the MMA cage with bravado, confident in his striking prowess. Yet MMA does not forgive overconfidence. From the opening bell, Hiramoto's flashy techniques were rendered ineffective against the relentless wrestling and ground control of Kyoji Horaguchi. He was taken down repeatedly, each fall chipping away at his composure and forcing a sobering realization. Athleticism alone cannot overcome technical mastery and adaptability. Yet Hiramoto's journey did not end there. Returning to face Mikuru Asakura, he applied the lessons learned with devastating effectiveness. A perfectly timed left hook found its mark, immediately incapacitating Asakura and leaving no room for recovery. The fight ended decisively, a testament to Hiramoto's growth and adaptability, a reminder that even in defeat, lessons can forge new warriors, stronger and more precise. 2021 brought another demonstration of Japanese mastery, this time in the form of Nakadra Takumi's low-kick strategy against Sono Yu. At first glance, Takumi appeared unassuming, almost overshadowed by the more aggressive Yumi, who came into the fight throwing rapid-fire combinations as if to assert dominance. But Takumi's approach was deceptively simple and brilliantly effective, a relentless, systematic assault of low kicks, targeting balance, mobility, and structure. Each kick landed with mechanical precision, gradually eroding Yumi's footing, weakening his base, and turning his own aggression into vulnerability. Within minutes, the contest had shifted. Yumi staggered, unsteady, and defenseless against the calculated simplicity of Takumi's method. 2 knockdowns later, the fight concluded not with a spectacular, flashy strike, but with the quiet, devastating efficiency of repetition, timing, and accuracy, a potent reminder that in combat sports, strategy often trumps spectacle. The evolution of Japanese combat sports from the samurai era to the modern cage and ring is evident in these fights. Fighters like Naoya Inoue, Tenshin Nasukawa, Kyoji Horaguchi, Ren Hiramoto, and Nakadra Takumi exemplify that true mastery is not merely about raw power but about understanding the rhythm of combat, exploiting weaknesses, and reading an opponent before they even know what's coming. Their knockouts, while brutal, are also acts of artistry, moments in which preparation, anticipation, and split-second decision-making coalesce into displays that transcend ordinary competition. Consider Inoue's meticulous dismantling of Kono. It was not merely a knockout but a showcase of anticipation, control, and timing. Every feint, every jab, and every pivot was carefully calculated to expose vulnerabilities, culminating in a final, devastating sequence that ended the fight definitively. Tenshin Nasukawa, by contrast, reminds us that speed, creativity, and unpredictability can turn a fight into a near-mythical spectacle, where opponents are overwhelmed not only by physical ability but by the almost supernatural pace at which events unfold. Horaguchi and Asakura's battles demonstrate that MMA is a game of adaptation. Raw talent and aggression alone cannot secure victory. Preparation, strategy, and the ability to exploit minute weaknesses define outcomes. Similarly, Hiramoto's journey illustrates the transformative potential of learning from failure. A fighter can evolve, adapt, and return stronger, turning previous defeats into the foundation of mastery. Finally, Takumi's approach is a lesson in subtlety. A fighter need not rely on explosive displays or dramatic flair to dominate. With patience, precision, and relentless targeting of critical points, an unassuming combatant can systematically break down even the most aggressive opponent. In this sense, Japanese knockouts are as much about mental acuity, discipline, and timing as they are about physical power. From boxing to kickboxing, MMA to hybrid styles, Japan has cultivated a fighting culture that blends artistry, discipline, and raw destructive capability. Each fight we've explored, from Inoue's surgical annihilation of Kono, to Tenshin's lightning-speed chaos, to Horaguchi's strategic dismantling of Asakura, to Hiramoto's redemption, and Takumi's quiet precision, reveals a different facet of mastery. They collectively remind us that the modern warrior, while stripped of katanas and armor, carries forward the same principles as the samurai: discipline, focus, and a commitment to perfection in every movement. In these arenas, gloves have replaced swords, fists have replaced katanas, and strategy has replaced brute force alone. Yet the core essence remains unchanged: the pursuit of mastery, the understanding of timing, and the ability to dominate decisively. Each knockout is a story, a fleeting yet eternal moment of triumph, destruction, and artistry. They are demonstrations not only of athletic prowess but also of mental acuity, discipline, and the relentless drive to perfect one's craft. So, which moment resonates most? Is it Inoue's cold, calculated eradication of Kono? Tenshin's inhuman, lightning-fast onslaught? Horaguchi's meticulous, strategic demolition of Asakura? Or Takumi's subtle, methodical low-kick domination? Each represents a different philosophy, a different aspect of modern Japanese combat, and a different vision of what it means to be a warrior today. One thing is certain: in Japan, the spirit of the samurai lives on, not in the armor, not in the swords, but in the cages, rings, and arenas where modern warriors continue to push the boundaries of skill, strategy, and human capability. The knockouts, the victories, and even the defeats are all part of an ongoing narrative, one that illustrates the evolution of martial mastery across generations. In these fights, the essence of combat is distilled into its purest form: anticipation, precision, timing, and the unyielding will to dominate. As spectators, we are fortunate to witness these moments. Moments where seconds decide destinies, where the culmination of years of training is expressed in a single blow, a perfectly timed strike, or a decisive kick. These are not merely fights. They are performances, lessons in physics and psychology, and tests of endurance and intellect. They are the modern manifestation of the warrior's journey, echoing the age-old ethos of the ninja and samurai, carried forward in a new era of gloves, rings, and relentless ambition. In conclusion, Japan's modern fighters are more than athletes. They are artists, strategists, and inheritors of a proud martial tradition. Through Naoya Inoue, Tenshin Nasukawa, Kyoji Horaguchi, Ren Hiramoto, and Nakadra Takumi, we witness the transformation of combat into a spectacle of precision, planning, and raw power. These fights remind us that mastery is multifaceted. It requires not just skill and strength, but timing, anticipation, and the courage to execute when the moment arrives. The modern ring is the new battlefield, and in it, Japan continues to produce warriors capable of feats as breathtaking, brutal, and beautiful as any story from the samurai era. Every contest discussed here, every punch, kick, and knockout, is a testament to the evolution of combat. Inoue, Tenshin, Horaguchi, Hiramoto, and Takumi are living proof that true mastery transcends mere technique. It is about anticipation, reading the opponent, and executing with flawless precision. These are lessons in patience, intelligence, and strategy, wrapped in the most violent, awe-inspiring moments sport can offer. As fans, we are privileged to witness history in motion, the continuation of a martial lineage, and the spectacle of modern warriors writing their legends in real time. From the methodical brutality of a seasoned boxer to the lightning-fast chaos of a kickboxer, from the calculated dismantling of an MMA ace to the quiet, methodical destruction via low kicks, Japan has proven itself as a crucible for some of the most precise, devastating, and unforgettable knockouts in modern combat. These moments are more than victories. They are demonstrations of evolution, artistry, and the raw, calculated force of a modern warrior. The samurai spirit lives on, not in swords, but in every perfectly executed strike, every calculated move, and every knockout that reminds us why we watch, why we cheer, and why we are captivated by the relentless pursuit of mastery. So tell us, which knockout had you leaping from your seat? Inoue's surgical devastation? Tenshin's unholy speed? Horaguchi's strategic destruction? Or Takumi's quiet, punishing precision? Each is a testament to Japanese martial arts, a vivid demonstration that while tools and arenas may have changed, the essence of combat, discipline, timing, intelligence, and the pursuit of perfection remains eternal. In the end, these fighters are more than athletes. They are modern-day samurai, warriors of a new age, carrying forward a centuries-old tradition of precision, strategy, and domination. And as long as they step into the ring, cage, or arena, the spirit of Japan's martial legacy will continue to awe, inspire, and, when necessary, destroy with surgical efficiency. The fights we've explored are a reminder that while technology, rules, and arenas may evolve, the warrior's path, steeped in preparation, timing, and the pursuit of mastery, remains unchanged.